You're in hell. Don't stop. Hell isn't the place to stop in. Hell is not the place to retire in. Like it's a crap town. It's a little village on the way to your success. And the only way it becomes your permanent location is if you stop.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Leadership Stack Podcast, the podcast for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs to increase your leadership, teamwork, and profits. This is your host, Sean C., aka Mr. CEO at 22.
Is this prospect actually a prospect that we can close in the current state with their needs and what we can deliver on? If all of these boxes are ticked and they are just sitting on the fence, it's because they either don't know you well enough, they don't like you enough, they don't trust you, or there's something else going on, they haven't done it.
Now, David, so we got a lot out of your sales expertise and wisdom, and I want to know, because I've read your bio and you mentioned there that there was a time in your life where you lost everything and nearly your life. I'm not going to ask you for the details, but I want to talk about hitting rock bottom, because there are entrepreneurs out there, especially during this time of the pandemic, where they feel like this is it. This is as low as I can get. And they need to hear from you about how you got back up. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, 100%. It's a funny question because we were saying about this on offline earlier to those that are listening, but I own my L's. I've made massive mistakes. I mean, I'm really screwed up. Mine was based around, and I'm quite open with it, mine was based around alcohol and drugs. I got massive success. For those out there that have ever hyped themselves up and got hyperactive after a deal and gone out and celebrated and gone back to work the next day and they've done it again and they've gone and celebrated. I just done that for a few years to an excess. But because things were going well, I thought there wasn't a problem. So I ended up losing everything. I had a breakdown, lost everything, to the extent I ended up sleeping in my car. But the reason I'm saying this is I want to give people context. If you don't have it, if you're born in this world to nothing at all and you don't know any different, it's different, right? So it's still horrible, but it's different because you don't know different. If you go from the fact of having everything and you screw it up, you make the mistakes, it's hard to come out of that because you just are hitting yourself with a stick. To go from eating in the top restaurants, driving the cars, having the Rolexes, going on all the holidays, to sleeping in a car and literally not being able to afford to buy a sandwich. Like that bad. I wanted it done. But it also gets to the stage where you can't. Like you have to get through that day. It's horrible. It's painful. But you have to become accountable to yourself. You have to realize everyone messes up. Everyone makes mistakes. And for anyone who's ever watched Rocky, imagine if Rocky ended at the bad bit. What a miserable film that would be. Right? When he's down, he's beaten, and he just died. And that's it. End of the film. Right? If that's the stage you're at now, you have a choice. You have a choice to end the Rocky film now and make it a miserable film, or fight back. No one said it was easy for Rocky. Have you ever read the story about Sylvester Stallone writing Rocky? Yeah. For those who don't know, I mean, Sylvester Stallone had nothing. He was offered big money at the time, like £200,000 for Rocky, but not to be in the film. And he was like, no, I want to be in the film. He was so skint. He had no money. He had to give his dog away. And his dog's actually the one in the film, isn't it? Think of Sylvester Stallone right now, every film you've ever seen him in. He could have been a crackhead on the street or dead. The determination that he had at that point. If you are now with your business and you're going through hard times and you've got people knocking on the door because they owe you, you owe them money, your business is collapsing. It could have collapsed. Your wife's let you. Your kid hates you. You're in hell. Don't stop. Hell isn't the place to stop in. Hell is not the place to retire in. Like it's a crap town. It's a little village on the way to your success. And the only way it becomes your permanent location is if you stop. Now, it doesn't matter how you get out of hell. If you've got a car, you drive out of hell. If you've got a plane, you fly out of hell. If you've got nothing but your legs, you walk out of hell. If your legs don't work, you crawl out of hell. But what you don't do is stay there in the burning heat and die. It's just not it. Now, you might not believe in yourself, or someone might not think they deserve it, and you might not, which is harsh, but it's true. But it doesn't matter whether, right? If you're in hell, it doesn't matter whether you deserve it or not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you can achieve your day or not. You've just got to do the next week. You've just got to get through today. You've just got to get the next hour done. You've just got to manage a minute. And everyone can manage a minute. To do one thing. If you improve 1% a day, right? Take your life right now. If you improve your life 1% today, that's manageable. If you do that again tomorrow and again the day after, in a year's time, you have twice what you have today. Now, that might not be a lot, but in a year after that, you'll have another 100%. But it'll actually be 200% because you've already gone up. And it will keep growing like that. We need to have the foresight and the resilience that our families and parents have gone through. Your life might be crap right now. Think about lockdown right now. It's hard. You still have the internet. You're listening to this. Imagine your parents, my grandparents in the war, with bombs going off, Hitler's dropping bombs on London. They didn't have the internet to build a business from a bomb shelter. They didn't have food being delivered by the Waitrose. They didn't have masks. They didn't get updates. They didn't have all this stuff. They didn't have anything. They literally had food stamps and bombs. So whatever we're going through now, whatever you've got now, there's people out there that have got less. If you are listening to this, you have electricity. You're already over some people in the world, right? Unless you've got a hamster in the wheel making some power. If you're looking around your house and you've got a light on, you go to if you've got lunch or food in your house that you can cook today, you're doing better than some. You have a laptop, you have something there. You can go and do anything now. If businesses collapse, go off and become an affiliate marketer. You don't even need a product. Start marketing for them. If you're in sales and you were good at sales before, you're good at sales now, you're just being lazy. You've just gone through the habits of beating yourself up and become, this is hard. I think for too many people out there, they let themselves off too easy and they beat themselves up far too easy. And I think this is the big difference for a lot of people. If we're going to be at a stage, but we're going to get everything we want out of this world, we have to do everything we have to do to get it. Not, oh, I'm going to do this, but then I'm going to finish at 5. If you're moaning about your life and you finish at 3 o'clock this afternoon, it's on you. But we have to go and get everything we want, but we have to prepare to do the work to get it. It's not a buffet. It's not, oh, yeah, I'll do a bit of work in the morning, but I'll do that. No, do it all. If your friends are terrible and they like to party all the time and you don't, stop seeing your friends. Oh, but I get lonely. So if you're thirsty, don't drink poison, do you? Oh, I'm thirsty, I'll drink that. So if your friends are toxic, stop being around them. It's better to be lonely and content. That'll come than to drink poison. Like we see with James Bond film and he sends them off in the desert with the oil. He got that thirsty, but the oil was more appealing than staying where he was, knowing that he would die. We do that with our friends. We do that with our circle. We do that with our actions. We have to go off and we have to deliver over and over and over and over again. And when we stop, we don't. Keep going. Doesn't work, change, adapt, move.
That's awesome advice right there. And you mentioned a lot of stuff that you take with you right now from that rock bottom period in your life. But I want to ask, if there was one discipline in your life during that time when you hit rock bottom that is super important to you that you still practice today or you have it in your mind today, what is it?
If you beat yourself up over a lot of stuff, keep it, not a journal. I've got, as you can see here, these whiteboards. I've got notebooks everywhere. Part of that's my memory isn't great. Part of it is I suffer massively with anxiety. So it's very easy if you have high anxiety or you're stressed or you're depressed to not have focus. I just work for a list. Now, in the same way as when you go to the gym, not all the exercises are your friend. I work top to bottom. So some days I'll get up and I've got an awful job to do at 5:30 in the morning. Something I'm not looking forward to doing, but just get it done. If you commit to being committed, if you hold yourself accountable, if you say you're going to do it, you do it. You will build your confidence up. A lot of the time, we are our own worst enemy. A lot of the time, we say we're going to do it, but then we let ourselves off. And then that becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, this is the thing. If you're in sales and you're getting screwed around on deals, look at what you do and your own actions. Do you let yourself down? A lot of the time we do. And I'm not accusing of it. I used to do this. I would say to everyone, yeah, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do this, knowing damn well I wouldn't. So what happened when I dealt with prospects? I could relate to their lies because I used to lie to me. I could understand. And this is why, if you've got no money and someone gives you a no money objection, it's very easy to relate. Oh, yeah, no, I understand it is quite expensive. Yeah, to spend £4,000 on this. Yeah. Right. But imagine if you've got £1 million in the bank and you've just been to your financial advisor and you start working out your long-term plan and you're paying this and you're paying that, and someone said the same objection. You're like, hang on a minute. I remember being at that stage and I know what I did. You become more proactive. So we have to look at our own life. And our own life is a direct reflection of the prospects that we find. Your network is normally very similar to the way you are. So if you are struggling with stuff, change your processes. Become committed to get commitment about being committed. Have a list. And the list is good because, one, you'll write down all the stuff you've got to do. I'll literally show you on my board here. If you look at my whiteboard here, for those listening, in my whiteboard, that's my to-do list for today. Now, that to-do list is there for my own peace of mind because sometimes I'm so busy, I don't know what I've done today. So when I've done it, I'll put a line through it. So say if I have a bad day today, stuff happens, whatever. If at the end of the day I'm beating myself up, I look at the board, I wipe them off the board to put a line for it, and you go, I've got a lot done today. So I might not have reaped a lot from my crops. I might have had a bad day, but I sowed a lot of seeds in that day. I've got 9 things that are killer done. I've got some ridiculous ads being created at the moment, like really cool videos, right? So yesterday, like I said to you, I had a few things go on, a bit of a bizarre day, but I also had the website launched. I had a new interactive landing page set up. I was I booked in for another 6 podcasts, 2 lives, a radio program. I've got these other 2 videos that have been created. What else did I do? I was another promo bit. So that's a lot of things. If I had my bad day, my focus could have been there, right? But at the end of the day, I would then push them to one side because they'd already happened. I'm like, wow, I actually got a lot done. And having that list there will enable you to then stop beating yourself up and see the progress. You have got a farm and you're trying to just you're trying to reap the crops and you're not getting enough crops or enough food from your crops. If you're doing enough planting every day, eventually those crops won't matter because you're going to have others that will give you fruit. The problem is in sales, if you are not getting enough business, an entrepreneur, it's easy to not plant the seeds that day. It's easy to sit on your farm, sit on the soil and cry that there's no food to eat. But you need to pick yourself up, dust yourself down, get out planting seeds. Because if you plant seeds long enough and you look after those seeds, they will turn into being the monster fields and the crops that you can dine on for the rest of your life. And those other crops will seem insignificant. We hold too much value on them. So we've just got to take those processes, don't you think?
To-do list. That is one of the things that a lot of people don't do up to today, surprisingly. But yeah, so I use To-Doist. It's an app, but dude, a whiteboard works exactly fine. So
yeah. I actually find they work. For me, they work better. So on my phone, I have 8 different categories of to-do list on my phone. And there's like 93, and I'm in the process of moving. So a lot of this stuff on there, a lot of these are ideas and plans, like videos to record. So they're not urgent stuff. My whiteboard has things to do. These are things I want done, but it's not urgent. These are ideas. So the good thing is with that, if I cleared, I've got 40 things on there. So even if that whiteboard will never be clear. Now, this is the other thing. You have to accept that will never be clear. You're not trying to get a clean whiteboard. You're trying to get increased productivity. Some people are like, oh, but I need to finish my to-do list every day. No, you don't. Stop being so vain. No one cares about perfection. You don't want a clear thing. That's like saying, oh, I want to make sure I take all the money out of my bank account every day. No. You want to make sure you've got enough stuff there. So I've got my whiteboard, that's my to-do. And I've got my to-do, my done list. This is what I want done. They can move on to there when I'm ready. So when I'm walking around or I'm in the restaurant and I think of something, it goes onto this list. Then when my to-do list is nearly done, something else will go on there. My daily stuff. I've got a content thing on this calendar. I'll show you. This is how organized I've got. So I literally took this calendar and this is my content for the next month online. There.
That's awesome.
So that calendar, now, if I think of something when I'm out or I hear something inspirational, I should do a video on that, I'll go on my list. When I get home, I do it. And this goes up now to Wednesday, the 2nd of December. Every single day, there is something I'm going to do. So that saves time thinking and planning. If you end up with more time on one day, I can start doing the following day's one. It's about getting more productive what we do. And it's holding ourselves really accountable.
Amazing. And David, so we have gone on and we have learned a ton from you. We are better for it. Now, perhaps the last question that I want to ask you is, if you had the chance to go back in time during the time when you were making a lot of sales, what would you tell yourself in order to prevent the rock bottom?
You know, we watch films on a TV program and there's a bomb underneath the bus. And no one knows there's a bomb underneath the bus, right? I think that bomb was there anyway. I think a lot of the traits I had, I didn't know, were just underneath. And we've got these. We've all got these imperfections we've got. But it manifested. If I'd had better goals that kept me focused, and if my circle, and I'm not blaming my circle, I was the instigator. I was the circus leader. I was the ringmaster. Everyone else was there for the ride. If I'd leveled up and had a mentor at the time above me who had achieved more, who I was inspired by, I would never have fallen into the trap. I became a big fish in my pond. I was the guy who, I didn't listen to other people. Their opinion didn't really matter because I'm doing this and I'm doing. If you're earning £400,000 a year, and everyone around you that's earning £50,000 a year, now they're better people, okay? But when they try and talk to you about what you're doing about spending money and this and the other, you're like, oh mate, leave me alone, I'm all right. Because in your bank, I'm doing really well. But actually, if you were surrounding yourself with someone who makes £1 million a month, you wouldn't feel as fulfilled. So you'd be striving more. You'd be watching what they do with their money to turn that 400 into $1 million. And I didn't do that. But yeah, that's the one thing. And I think that's why the coaching works so well as well. For me, I have people that coach me, and I coach people. And I enjoy it. Like, I genuinely enjoy seeing people or getting a message go, mate, I've just made £1,000 today. Brilliant. Just coaching business. We've got someone in a minute who's just changed the way they sell. And they've gone from doing a two phone call strategy, so an introduction, then a sales call, one call. And they've done their first one call sale. Now, when we first spoke, this person would do, let's say, an introduction today, send out some information, phone them in a week, and they wouldn't get the deal for a month. Now, they're literally phoning people, getting deals on that phone call, money's in the bank, an hour later. And they're like, this is great. I took people from taking 2 weeks to a day. And they've increased their earnings by like 40%. And this. And that's amazing, getting those messages. I love that. And now, the very thing which was the reason I didn't have, because I didn't have my own coach, now I help other people to not do that. So the very thing that messed my life up has ended up being the catalyst which has given me my best life.
That's awesome. David, thank you so much for all the wisdom, advice that you have given. We have practical advice, tactical, strategic on sales, and we learned about how to get back up when we fail. That is super sweet, super important for everyone, especially during this time of the pandemic. Now, if there are people listening in and they want to know more about you, they want to get in touch, where is the best place to do that?
The best place to go to me is one of three ways. The Sales Angel is my handle on Instagram. So just go on the Sales Angel and I'm there. I put content out every day. Drop into the DMs, drop me a message. There's loads there. I put on the link in my bio on there. the little pop-up that comes up, and there's loads of different podcasts, ebooks, loads of free content on there as well. And just you can book in a strategy call with me there, or drop me a DM, or you can go to thesalesangel.com. There, again, you can find out a bit more about me. You can get in touch through there, or on Facebook, I am the Sales Angel. But the Instagram and the website's the main two. So yeah, drop by. But there's some really good stuff. I've got a few big campaigns coming around at the moment, which is going to give a lot more content out for free for people. But yeah, if anyone's listening to this and wants help, or just wants to have a no BS conversation about can you help, just get in touch with me. I'm more than happy to help.
Awesome. And we'll have all of those links in the show notes. Just go to theleadershipstack.com/podcasts. You look for David Angel, that episode. We'll have all his links down there in the show notes. Well, David, thank you so much for your time. We are better for hearing you out.
Thank you for having me.
This episode is partnered up with Armoury.ph. Armoury is an online watch store and is the exclusive distributor of the brands TW Steel, Dion Milano, Fonderia, Luminox, and Mondane in the Philippines. Yes, folks, those are Italian watch brands. If you are looking to buy your next go-to luxurious everyday watch, go to armoury.ph and enter the coupon code LS30. Armoury.ph delivers straight to your doorstep with a security tape to make sure that your package is safe from theft, arrives on time, and is guaranteed working 100%. Go to armoury.ph and buy your first luxury watch today.
Kung may doubt ako na dadayain ako, di na ako mag-i-invest to begin with. Yun yung sa akin. If there's any point na tingin ko magkakaroon ng dayaan or shady na baka ba't ganito yung numbers niya, I wouldn't put my money in the first place.